Welcome back to another episode of Market Unlocked. This week is a little bit different. We're doing it today on a Friday versus our usual Monday because we got a special guest, and there he is, Nill from Polygon. What's up, man? How are you?
How's it going, my
What's going
friends?
on, Nill? How's
Doing
it
well.
going?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate the flexibility. I've got the family, dad life vibes on the East Coast here. So once 5 o'clock rolls around, I got to lock in. So thanks, Fody, for being flexible and work with my schedule here. But no, I'm excited to hang out, excited to chat, bring some energy, and make it a fantastic end to our Friday.
Is that some
No
Pokemon
worries.
font I see on the Polygon tee?
You kidding me, bro? We don't mess
We're
around
gonna get
around
into
here.
some. We're gonna get into some Pokemon because I
Oh, dude.
saw the Charizard that went on sale, but I don't want to spoil too much of it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it eventually. But
Cool.
yeah, we like to do some cool promo items for these type of events. So had to
Yep.
rock it to flex a little bit.
There we go. There we go.
Very cool.
All right. Fody, you're the one that brought us this awesome guest. You want to start the show?
Yeah, dude. We got a bunch of questions lined up for you, Nill. Just so you're aware, this is being streamed on YouTube and over on X as well. But mainly YouTube. But yeah, man. I mean, again, thank you for taking the time and joining us. We're super excited, and I guess we'll just get into it, man. So I guess we'll just start off. What do you do? What do you do at Polygon?
Yeah, man. I again appreciate being here. Anytime I have the conversation, I have the opportunity to connect with more people, talk about what we do at Polygon, tell a little bit of my story. I think that's like one of the most exciting things we get to do here is like this whole ecosystem, this Web3 thing that we do. It's like powered by people who like believe in something kind of crazy, which is like, oh, we can evolutionize the world with this technology and push it forward and give people resources. Wild idea that like a lot of our individuals in the Web2 side don't really understand yet. But what for so on my background first, I come from a Web2 background. Obviously, I was in marketing analytics, right? So I was doing press releases, marketing tools, things like share a voice, just like pushing out really good messaging for teams. During 2020, as we all went home to do a little bit of a reset, I found myself with a lot of time in my hands. I essentially gamified my life into 3 hours of the day where I could work very quickly and then explore other things. And found myself doing all the degenerate things that we were all doing during those times. I ended up jumping into sports gambling. So, that was a fun time during NBA bubble games. I'm jumping around. I'm betting on teams. The Lakers are popping off. It's all fun, good games. Give me back LeBron in Cleveland. That's regardless. But in the NFT, the DraftKings was where I was mostly doing that. And they opened up an NFT marketplace, right? So NFT marketplace was these little digital trading cards with like Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, like all this kind of stuff, right? And I started buying these things and flipping them real quick, like $40 on a Tuesday to $400 on a Wednesday, buying them with a credit card. My wife's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I have no idea what I'm doing." Right? Like it was absolutely perfect. And I'm just like transferring money around. And she's like, "I don't know what you're doing, but like, keep going. You're making money. All right, here we go." So before then had purchased some tokens, played around, understand like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that kind of stuff. But I flipped it over. If you look at the card, you can kind of digitally move it. So you flip it over and it says built on Polygon technology. I'm like, all right, like I've seen Polygon Matic back in the day, like understood like it was something built on top of Ethereum. So kind of led me down the rabbit hole of like, what's this all about? Right. And this was my first, like I call it like a higher level or layer 2 interaction where like layer 1 interaction for me, like first step is like you buy crypto, right? Like, all right, I got a token, it's on Coinbase, it's somewhere. And then this was my first like blockchain interaction, right? Like buying and selling an asset. And so I jumped on Reddit, I jumped on Twitter, and I just started exploring. I didn't know where to go, so I just started searching like, oh, Polygon NFTs, Polygon this. And I found like just this super vibrant community of like educators, like people that wanted you to get coached through this stuff and slow ride it and just like understand there's a value behind it, not just about the monetary side, that's one thing, about like why the tech exists, right? So I jumped in, I started asking questions on spaces. I started leading communities. I started becoming like marketing heads for different things and different projects. And this was back in 2021, like months before the bull peaked, right? So got absolutely wrecked, as we all do in our first cycle. And I had only been in for like 6 months at that point. So like,
don't.
I mean, that's just what it is. You earn your crypto tuition in different ways, right? And mine was early entry into the last part of the bull run, where everything peaked and then plummeted, right? So regardless of that, like I just really liked the vibes. I like as an ADHD individual, there was like 1,000 things you could like hyper focus on and move around and learn about. And that just like drove me to do more. So I stayed throughout the bear market, kept growing my X account. I'm not like the hugest creator ever, but 14K I'll probably hit by the end of the month here, which I'm super proud of, and just doing that
Dude,
work.
you're moving at light speed. I think I'm
Recently.
watching it in real time, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
eating.
yeah,
The engagement,
sure.
engagement, the algorithm gods are treating me well over on Twitter. That's for sure. But yeah, so I just started grinding my way up, and I got picked up by Magic Eden because I was one of the bigger Spaces hosts. Frank D Gods and the Utes came over. There was all this like energy coming into PFPs. There was a bunch of new mints on Polygon, and I was one of the loudest, loudest literally, and also like just more prevalent Spaces hosts. I was hosting Spaces like 300, 400, 500 people, and Magic Eden grabs me. I go on their go-to-market team for Polygon, growth, essentially, launchpad efforts, social media growth, just being kind of a community head on that end. That was part-time. So I'm working Web 2 and Web 3 simultaneously. And then my kid is born, and I say, yo, like this is this is way too much, right? Like, let's slow down. I reached out to Magic Eden, and I've got a tweet lined up for it later today. Like, Magic Eden was like, nah, head count's full. I'm like, all good, no stress. I appreciate the work I've done for 8 months. And I reached out to my homies at Polygon because I was like their main correspondent, I guess you could say. And I was like, I need something. Like, what do you like? Would love to work with you all. Would love to jump in from a professional capacity. And within 2 weeks, I was working over there. And my role is ecosystem growth and success, which essentially means that teams that are already building on Polygon, people like Polymarket, Courtyard, all the gaming ecosystems that we have, I provide them resources, whether it's marketing, technical help, grants and avenues for growth. And then on the growth side, I bring on new projects, right? So I have certain verticals that I handle. Currently, I'm on infrastructure and real world assets in consumer basis. So like, RWAs, like Pokemon cards, right? like little collectibles coming on chain.
Yeah.
And I'm currently like bringing on new teams to continue to accelerate our growth there. So that's kind of like my, I guess, way too long 6-minute summary of my work over at Polygon, but I'm really passionate about it. So thanks for letting me yap on it.
I mean, we're definitely going to dive into all the projects that Polygon's doing because I'm excited for, quite a bit of them too. But, before we get into that, I mean, you kind of answered my next question, of what you did before Polygon. But like, I kind of want to know, like, when was that, like, that catalyst moment when you like got into crypto for the first time? But before we get into that, did you get into Top Shot too? Because I know you were collecting the cards and everything.
I honestly didn't touch Top Shot because it like my brain was confused about like the moments aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't as applicable. Like I'm a very like tangible guy.
Yeah.
So like it didn't like translate as well for me as I would have.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have. I say this a lot. The best thing I did was hyper focus on one avenue of growth, while simultaneously the worst thing I did was focus on one avenue of growth, right? Because like, would I have made a bunch of money if I went over to Solana and Ethereum and like all these other places early on? Absolutely. I would have cooked. Like everyone was eating during PFP season. It would have been a lot. Yeah. It would have been a lot different. Right. But like my goals, and I guess like your statement of like, when did it click? My buddy Johnny Metaverse, who works over at Magic Eden, he still works there. He's one of their lead BD guys, ecosystem like guy. Like he heads up a ton of stuff for them. He's brought on like 6 different chains to Magic Eden. He's done a bunch of great work. He worked on the deal for Slingshot, their like launchpad for our coins. He's an absolute G. And I saw him get hired at Magic Eden, and he came from the exact same, like cut from the same cloth as me, right? Community guy that was just locked into like growth of a project and like really focused. He's got a military background, so super hardworking individual. And when he got hired at Magic Eden, I like looked at my entire like year that I've been in the space. It was super early on, and I was like, now I know my goal. Like that was my clicking moment. I was like, my goal is a professional level and in this ecosystem, because I want this to be my entire life professionally. I want to grow this space. I want to give back to people. I want to advance this technology. And lo and behold, 2 years after that, I'm doing it full time and at a really high capacity, and I'm loving every minute of it. So that's really when it clicked, when I saw like, this isn't just about the money. Like, yeah, it's great, dude. I want to make a bunch of dollars and have my wife not work anymore and like, take vacations. That's awesome. Let's do that for sure. But also like, I'm looking to change people's lives. I'm looking to make sure I get my people in place and like bring a bunch of other people up with me as well. Cause that's what Johnny did for me. And it's only my due to do the same.
Awesome. That's sick. That's cool. That's awesome, man. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just going down memory lane of like crypto gaming and like and we're gonna get to that in a little bit, but like crypto gaming and NFTs too. Like I'm gonna name some stuff, and you're like, whoa, like that's pretty old school. But like, anyways, Arthur, I know you were gonna say you wanted to ask something.
My ADHD is firing, and I'm trying so hard to keep it in because everything he was talking about, man. So what I love about this space is there's so much to look at. It's so fast paced for someone that needs such stimulation. When have all these different things that I'm doing in this space, like it actually makes me more calm.
Yeah.
It evens me out. And it's so funny that you brought up like the playing cards in 2020, because that was peak for me when I would make crypto gains and literally take the freaking e-scooter in freaking downtown LA at the time, go buy all these packs of Pokemon and just rip and stream them online, catch Zards and all this stuff. So that's why I was super pumped to have this talk, especially when we get into Courtyard and more of those.
Yeah, I mean, dog,
organized
you're speaking
RWs.
to the
Dude, I'm gonna
freaking,
have to
yeah,
go
come
get my
on.
slabs out in like
Dude,
1 minute.
Art-
If you show me one more card, I'm gonna go nuts.
Arthur actually has like a super insane Charizard collection.
That's sick, dude.
You might need to get him out right now, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we don't need to flex too hard on my small collection over here of not retro cards. You know,
No.
I've taken care of some retro collections for my friends who like find them in their basement and stuff. I'm not, you know, I got a couple grand in cards just because I think they're super fun. I mean, you see the market, cardboard goes up, like it's like over time,
It's
and
booming right now.
yeah, and like, you know, strong IP outlasts a lot of stuff. And you see collectibles as a whole. It's stuff I'm doing a lot of studying right now, like especially in the APAC region with like what Labubu has done and like, you know, Hello Kitty and all that stuff. I believe that we're so early in consumer RWAs because those teams just don't know the path yet. Like they don't know the entire experience you can have and the new users you unlock and the new value you can provide your people. It's something that I'm like actively pitching our teams on. I had a couple really interesting calls this week that I'll drop alpha on Twitter eventually. But it's really setting us up for like our purpose over at Polygon, and we'll get into that as well too, like where our focus is. But RWAs is one of those sectors that we're definitely locked in just based off of what we've been able to do and what we will accomplish in the future.
Yeah, and that's one of the topics I really want to focus on later too, for sure, is RWAs and how, you know, Polygon intertwines with that. But you know, I know Arthur wanted to ask some
So
questions
say,
too, because he's
you know,
go ahead.
so I know you kind of stated a bit in the past, but what would you say was the main reason that you chose Poly as the chain to work with? You know, it like instead of ETH or Sol or Arbitrum or
Anywhere, yeah, man. So like, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's the first thing that gave back to me, right? So like, I'm loyal to a fault in some aspects. You know what I mean? When you give me love, you're gonna be known as like somebody that I need to respect for a long time, right? And because
as it should be.
Yeah, right, Fody. Like, and you get it. Like, it's one of those things where like when people show love, you got to make sure you show it back in some way, right? So like, you know, when I jumped on originally, I couldn't go back. Like I couldn't justify, and I'm a very risk averse person by nature. You know, my wife's an engineer. I've got a kid. Like I've got a lot of things in line to make sure I'm setting myself up for like family success. Just by my nature itself. But like I couldn't justify gas. Like I couldn't say, oh, I'm going to pay more for the asset in transaction fees than the assets itself is worth. I just couldn't do it, man. It was real frustrating. And then like once I started growing on Polygon, and that's like the ecosystem I really learned more about, and I really believed in Ethereum because it set the stage for like smart contracts and building on chain. And naturally, Polygon's the second biggest chain next to it, right? It's the first L2. We're very aligned with the Ethereum Foundation, so much so that like when Vitalik goes to India, right, when he travels around the world, he has eaten dinner in Sandeep, our founder's like family home. Like Sandeep's mother has cooked him meals. Like that's how aligned we are, right? As far as our goals.
Yeah. And it's nice to see him back as CEO.
Yeah, exactly. So, and just a clarification on that too, Arthur, like there's two organizations that we have, right? There's Polygon Labs and Polygon Foundation. Polygon Labs is like the technical aspects, how the ecosystem runs, how the chain develops and all those things. That's Mark Boyron, right? And he's an awesome guy himself. like Mark doesn't get enough love because he made really tough decisions when he jumped into Polygon because we were very bloated. Like, you know, when you're the first L2, and I'll just clarify too, Sandeep is on the foundation CEO level. So that's token, right? That's investor.
Yeah.
That's the development side. So just want to clarify that so everyone understands too, right? There's two lines of thought that happen here. But what Mark had to do when he jumped in, because we had Ryan Wyatt previously, also a super bullish guy on the ground floor of the House of, the House Representatives and pitching the Senate on why this technology needs to be here before we got regulations. This was like back in 2021. When Mark came on, he made the assessment that like it was so good that we were early because we grew so fast, but it was unsustainable for our growth and the way that we want to support people. Right. So that means that we had all these different like arms. We had a metaverse arm. We had NFT arm. We had like all these like flagrant pieces that weren't communicating. And there was a post that went out, like he became CEO. 2 months later, we laid off 30% of our staff. And like at the moment, you're like, damn, that's bearish. Like Polygon's cutting back. We look back now and we've hired just as many people as we let go since that happened. Because now our people are hyper focused. They have goals. They interlock very well. We really have the train set back on the tracks, right? And so making those hard decisions, and that's why Mark's like lawyer background and his analytical mind and the way he works was so effective for us. Because now we're super focused on the verticals that we're going to accelerate. And to briefly get into it, like we lead in payments. Everyone thinks of XRP and XLM and all these other these payment processors that are like, that's like what the hype is behind on TikTok and all these other platforms. That's all great, grand, and wonderful. 46% of stablecoin volume, it funnels through Polygon POS. Right.
And
so like
they don't know about all the 3 million stores that Stripe processes on Polygon network.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And like our focus in LATAM, which is one of the most like up and coming development groups, like regions in the world. Right. And our APAC focus, like they don't understand that because we're very westernized with, I mean, you all know, like when I'm on Twitter, my audience is from the States. Right. And maybe some European individuals, but those aren't the places that impact that need this tech the most, to be honest with you, and are transacting the most because they don't have any options. So in payments, we're winning. And we're only going to accelerate that. And our team is already bringing it on. Banks from Guatemala, the Singapore government is coming onto Polygon. It's insane as far as the payments processing perspective, right? On the RWA side, that's also the second area that we're leading. The second most RWAs of any ecosystem next to Ethereum, because Ethereum's been here longer. And we expect to accelerate past them, essentially, because that's where it's leading us at this point. And these are things like foreign securities, stocks, bonds, and investments, right? Like countries like Spain just brought on like an entire equity arm all on Polygon. We didn't know it was launching until the day before it launched. And that's like, haha, pie in our face a little bit. But like what I'm trying to say is institutions are choosing us by default because we've been here that much longer. And you know what an institution doesn't want to do? Take a chance at this point. Do I think there's value in all ecosystems? I've been playing around on Abstract. I'm playing on Hyperliquid. I'm playing on Bear. All bullish in that aspect. Like 100% believe in those places too. Institutions need to be exposed to Ethereum and ensure that they're efficient. And that's why we're winning, because we have that longevity of proof of concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin, do you mind if I take the next question on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you hit a few of the points that I was just gonna make in the next question. So, it's around 2021 to about 2022, Polygon went a little bit quiet, and not because of you guys weren't building. You know, Sol got all this hype because of Sol News. Arbitrum got all this hype because of their airdrops, and then Polygon kind of went quiet. And it sounds like you guys have been building and building and building. And when it comes to the payments, what I'm hearing, and I'm not sure if you can confirm this, come October time, you guys are going to up your payments from, I think, 1,000 a second to 5,000 transaction a second. And then I think by year's end or very soon, it's going to go up to 100,000 transactions per second. Meaning, and I know that we can't really talk about valuations. That's just me being the trader that I am. But if that really happens and that tech does happen, then Polygon is very, very undervalued, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. The respect to like how I need to approach my job. I can talk about
Of course,
poll from some perspectives, but obviously valuation isn't something I touch. I leave that to
of course.
Sandeep. I leave that to Mark,
Yep.
right? And they're the people who should be talking about it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Poll as the investment avenue that it is. I mean, stake your poll, you get airdrops. That's what I'll say about it, right? And there's
Mhm.
like 5 airdrops already lined up for the next 6 months alone. So go do that.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, exactly. And there's some yeah, exactly. I can say that, right?
Yeah.
Katana, Billions, Maiden, like, and there's more to come.
Oh,
So
I can't wait to talk about those.
yeah,
That's what I got lined up.
we'll talk about those. Yeah, we'll get that Fody. We're gonna cook for a while here. So like
Yeah.
get the ovens warm, ladies and gentlemen. Sit
All
back
right.
and get comfy. But like
Yep.
what I'll say on like the way that we've evolved our ecosystem, Arthur, like kind of what you're alluding to here, is like the technical upgrades are super overdue because, to be honest, we didn't like need them at first. Like we were transacting effectively enough, but then we look at the scale of like what it means to come on chain and like grow, and how Solana has like just like again accelerated past like max velocity at this point, right? The initial update, and we brought on we brought on a couple individuals on the engineering stack, Anush and some other individuals there, that Arash and all these team members here that brought our TPS up to 1,000, and that was the Himdale update that just went live about a month and a half ago, right? So extremely effective. We're seeing faster block times. We're seeing all the things that we need to make sure we continue to scale. By the end of the year, like you said, the goal is at that 5,000, and then next year into 10,000, and then we see where things go. So you said 100, we're close. 10,000 is our first goal, first as like a larger scale. But the thing about like our ecosystem, which is like really unique compared to like, I just want to break it down for people here. There's two methods of thought in blockchain development. Okay. And a lot of people are facing this kind of conundrum at this point. There's things called monolithic blockchains, and there's things called modular blockchain ecosystems.
Yep.
Monolithic is this chain's going to run real fast and handle everything, right? That's your Solanas. That's the ecosystem. That's Mega ETH. That's like a lot of places that are building very effectively, and they're going to be really fast. I'm, again, bullish on all those places. Would never talk bad about their ecosystem. That's not why we're here. Our thought process in this modular world is that we should diversify and break out these transactions into multiple ecosystems so there is no downtime. And we've seen this already come to fruition. We saw what happened with the Trump and Melania coin and how transactions were failing on Solana and all the issues that they had. And now they've made upgrades, and they probably would be okay at this point. But we can't predict the future. If you're thinking that 10,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is enough, you probably need to up those numbers, because if you believe in mass adoption, it's going to be way more than that at that aspect, right? And we think in 10-year cycles, right? So what we've done is we're building something called the AG layer, right? The AG layer, which is AGGLAYER. Essentially what it is syncing all these ecosystems together through a bridging and swapping process, plugging them together and utilizing those blockchains for what they do best, right? RWA ecosystems, gaming ecosystems, payment processors, like OKX is a big one, like a lot of these teams that are working, so that we assume that you should use the best chain for that specific use case. General purpose is no longer the way, saying, oh, this chain's going to do everything. Then you're known for nothing, in our opinion. That's what our issue was. And Arthur, you were saying we went quiet for a while. It's because when you don't have an identity, people just sleep on you and they don't think that you're doing anything. So what do?
Right.
We hyper focus on payments and RWAs. We build Katana, which we'll talk about later, as the DeFi aspect. And then we plug in all these other bullish chains into our ecosystem to make sure that you can transact anywhere you want. The goal for the AG layer is so that you can take any token, so SOL, and spend it on Polygon in a one-click solution with sub 5-second transaction times. That is our goal overall, so that your mother, your brother, your sister, and your grandma can all use something with a one click and be way more like the internet than all the bridging and swapping mechanisms that we had today. We also acknowledge we made this problem. We encourage everyone to bridge. We encourage everyone to swap. We created blockchain fragmentation. And so what do? We solve the problem that we originally started by building the AG layer and making sure that it all interoperates and connects together.
Yeah. And I touched on this a little bit, but it's if people really look into your guys' payments in terms of taking payments, it's pretty impressive. And if the folks don't know, Poly Market is the largest betting market, and it's ran on Polychain. They've done over, I think, like 110 million transactions. You guys process over 3 million different stores crypto payments with Stripe. I'm hearing some whispers about Visa. I'm hearing some whispers about BlackRock. I'm not sure if you can touch up on those.
Lightly. BlackRock's middle program obviously is something that we're very proud of. Franklin Templeton as well. I will stay away from the credit card processing comment, and I'll invite one of my payment processing team members up for the next show to talk on that specifically, because I stay away from deals that I know that need to be developed more. I'll say that, and that's not in reference to visas, that's in reference to all the payments that we're working on here too. But I really think that like people underestimate, especially here in the States, how important having ways of moving money are. It was the original purpose behind Bitcoin, right? Like, oh, I can move money across borders. But it's really expensive on Bitcoin, right? Ethereum improved that, but it's not perfect. So when you talk about like how much more, like the U.S., we're so blessed in the United States, right? We have Venmo and PayPal and all these things that just allow us to like just move money very quickly between us, or Zelle, all these things. It's easy for us. Now, if I'm in, LATAM, and I'm in a country like Brazil, and I want to send it money to Puerto Rico, there is like 1,000 different gates in the way. There's, transfer of currency expenses, there's taxes, there's like friction just with the volatility of the currency itself, right? And that's why our focus is there, because those places, like, again, we think of the States, it's 50 states all connected together, and we use one currency. It's a beautiful thing that we have here in America, but around the world, it's not as effective because there's so many different like variables with it, right? So you're absolutely right. But like, think of what this means for like different money wiring transfers that happen. That's what we're really focused on, because like all these things, when you use like your Western Unions and all this stuff to send money home to your family because you moved to the UK, but your family's still in India, that is still taking a massive cut of your salary to send those transactions home. That's what we're solving for at the end of the day.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because my grandma lives in the country of Georgia, and especially because she lives in a very small part, it is extremely hard to send her money, and we lose about half of it.
It's crazy.
It's really, really crazy. Really crazy.
Yeah. And that's what the valuation of money is, like, to be able to send it back and forth. And like, that's why custody is so important. That's why we're so focused on that. It comes back down to the ethos of why crypto was created. So you're absolutely on the hitting on the head there.
Sweet. I'm going to let Fody get into this next topic, because I know he's been itching about it. And I asked a few of the questions that I already wanted to ask. So thank you so much for answering them.
Always here for it, brother. Let's get after it.
So, yeah, Nill, you already broke down ag layer, which was one of my questions, to kind of, dive into that. But you already did, and you gave us a very simple and in-depth explanation on it. But let's talk about, and I love a good DeFi product. I love DeFi tools. I'm all about it. Let's dive into Katana. If you just want to explain for people that have never heard of Katana, what is it? What does it do? How is it competitive to other DeFi protocols and so forth?
Yeah, so like the way that Katana started is that we saw an issue of like, I guess, monopolization in the DeFi space. And this isn't talking bad about these organizations. It's just that like the big dogs own a lot of the liquidity, right? You talk about what Aave does and like what Morpho does and all these like Compound, Fluid, all these groups, right? That's siloing of the liquidity. And that's the main thing that we're trying to figure out, is like, how do we break down these silos so that you can operate freely with your money where you want it to operate, right? So what the goal of Katana is what if we built a DeFi specific chain that is super efficient and allows you to free flow through these different protocols in your own manner so that you can make yield where you want to make yield. It's something that we've called the sync method, right? So what happens with Katana is when you bridge, and I like to make the comparison here too, when you bridge assets over to Katana, they're actually automatically put into Morpho borrowing and lending vaults, right? So essentially what that is like, they're very low risk, there's small percentages on them, but it transitions TVL, total value locked, obviously, of like the entire value on your chain, into something called productive TVL, meaning that the money actually moves and has yield natively by just being bridged to a place, right? A lot of people make the incorrect statement that we are very similar to Blast, and everyone knows how Blast went. It was unfortunate. You know, people are still on there. It is what it is. It wasn't as productive as people potentially thought it could be. Our estimation is that the reason why that happened is because that money got very stagnant. It was a new ecosystem. It was, you know, there was newer builders on it. And like, again, it's not speaking negatively. It's just that the tech wasn't developed as much. So what we built is called a Vault Bridge. Vault Bridge essentially says that as you bridge your funds, they're vaulted in Morpho, and then the fees generate based off of the lending and borrowing protocol in Morpho itself. And then in the first, like, I think Katana's, man, I'm losing track of time because it's already like, the end of 2025 feels like. But, we launched, Katana about 2.5, 3 months ago. And in the first month and a half of Katana being launched, we generated over $11 million in revenue based off of the lending and borrowing that happened on Morpho. And the TVL continues to climb, and the lending protocol continues to churn. And so everything that happens on Katana, whether you're borrowing, lending, sequencer fees, all this stuff just adds to this overall value of dollars that we've made in revenue for Katana. This is applicable to other chains too. We are currently in conversations with all these different chains to plug in Vault Bridge into their ecosystem so they make revenue also. You can use this as revenue directly to the chain, so it goes back to the ecosystem. You can do sponsored things like, oh, we're doing a gas-free weekend. Transact wherever you want. You can do promotions with it saying, hey, this is free because we're sponsoring it, right? You can do a lot of different things with this like productive TVL. It opens the door to allowing your people to transact easier, right? And so then when you partner with teams like Morpho, when you partner with teams like Sushi, when you partner with all these effective launch pads and gaming and predictions markets, and you provide them with like resources to transact the way they want, what people figure out is that it's just a lot easier to operate when the chain supports a lot of different protocols and you're not isolated into only doing borrowing, DeFi, or lending on certain places. And that's the entire goal with Katana overall. It's had a ton of success. The TVL continues to climb. The goal, obviously, is to continue to extend it. We did the Kaido campaign in it, which got a bunch of bullish reviews, and it's kind of like taken us in a good direction with people paying attention to it. So really the goal is just to continue to accelerate it, and the team over there is like super equipped to continue to make sure that it grows. I also wanted to note, it's not like Polygon. It's not like Katana by Polygon, right? It's like not like supposed to be that. It's that we incubated this with GSR, who's also a liquidity provider, to ensure that like it's near us. We've built the technology, but it's its own entity, right? It operates solely on its own goals. And the goal is make sure that DeFi is deep with liquid and has high yields. And that's what you're seeing.
I love it. I mean, I think it's awesome. I think if you could execute a DeFi protocol really well and make it super simple to use, and I've dabbled around on the interface, and it's it's pretty intuitive, and especially good aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of Katana. I really do. Like the whole theme of it. It's super clean. It's super attractive.
Great name.
I think you have just like a recipe for success.
Yeah. Thank you.
I personally definitely need to get a little deeper into Katana and get more exposure. But you guys had a huge successful airdrop too. People were definitely eating off of that. Did you say Katana had more airdrops in the future?
So the airdrops refer to pull, right? So yes, Katana token has been dropped for the initial. There's no dollar amount behind Katana yet. I want to say, so like TGE technically hasn't been there. It's just your allocation of what cat token will be in the future. And so it's kind of like, it's still pre-TGE technically. And again, like things will roll out. You'll see more announcements. You'll see that kind of go live as things evolve. What airdrops look like for us is through the pull token, right? And so obviously Polygon has had a history. It was previously Matic. It migrated over to the pull token to become more efficient and to become like this hyper productive token so that we could give rewards through it, right? So what we encourage our users to do, instead of like waiting around and speculating on assets and doing those things, support the network, stake your pull token. We have a hub for our staking hub, essentially, on polygon.technology. It'll lead you right to the staking hub. and you essentially can deposit Pol token into the hub, get a nice APY with all your assets rolling in. You can choose a validator, so that's validating transactions on the network.
Yep.
And then that makes you eligible for rewards through airdrops through our different incubated projects and teams that we are working with. Katana obviously is one of them. 15% of the token allocation is locked in for Pol stakers. So highly encourage everyone, get a slice of Katana. It's going to be fantastic. Really excited about Cat token. But also we've incubated a number of products and projects inside of Polygon. One that I'm really excited about is Billions. Billions is essentially like an AI verification protocol for it's replacing like CAPTCHA, right? So like when you go onto these websites and you got to submit your ID and submit like all these detailed documents, I don't want my information floating around all these places.
Right.
That's not safe. Go ahead.
I do have a question about Billions though, because when Billions asked me to KYC.
Right, but it's using ZK proofs, so it's hidden behind the vault of zero knowledge. So yes, it will ask you to KYC initially to prove that you're an actual human, or does a face scan, scan your ID, your passport, whatever you have as far as your documentation, and then it grabs that information, verifies it, and then poof, you're gone. It's gone, and it's good, right? So that's the entire purpose. But what we see is like by providing that proof on blockchain that you've done those steps, then it can plug into so many more protocols to ensure that your identity is actually your own identity. It's like going to a bar, right? It's like going to a bar and showing the legitimacy of your ID, but not showing your home address, your face, and all your driver's license information.
Yeah.
Like that's the essential digital equivalence of what Billions did. And obviously Billions will have a token associated with it. You'll get airdrops for that. And there's a few others that, we can obviously allude to in the future. Every day I work for more airdrops to make sure that our Pol stakers get that avenue. And I'm really excited about those developments on that side.
That's awesome. That's so sick, man. I might be a Polygon maxi at the end of this, to be honest. But
that was like a good way to put it. Like going to a bar, just showing them your ID is real, but they see no info.
Because why do they need to? Right. Honestly, like that's what it comes down to. Like you want to know this is legit. I was a bouncer for 4 years in college. You know how many fake IDs I've seen in my life? Literally thousands. Right? Like they're wavy, they're not legit. They, the cellophane's peeling off, like all that kind of crap. Like if you had a digital equivalency of this to prove it, it would just make our lives that much easier and things would move faster. That's what it's all about. This efficiency model. And when you plug that into different protocols that are already working on chain, and they've already plugged into a bunch of them recently, I would encourage our people to go over and scroll the Billions timeline and also farm the heck out of it. They've got this amazing community that wants you to grow. And I just tweeted again today about Billions. I gained 50 followers just off of one tweet. Like it's insane that the growth that they have.
Say less.
Literally just at Billions and talk about it. It's very bullish. And obviously they have a Kaido campaign. You can get some tokens out of that too, or some dollars out of that. But again, like like that's why, like, Arthur again referring to like you guys were like, it was quiet over there, like it was a little bit more down low for a while. It's what we were building, yo. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were building all this cool shit that people were not understanding yet because it wasn't time. It wasn't ready. And because we're a long-term protocol, because we've been around for a while and we've had that hype cycle happen already for us, we don't need to be the hype cycle. We will just build fire product that people want to use because it makes their life easier. And that's why all of our teams are having success. It's why Polymarket's having success, because the tech work. It's why Courtyard is having success. It's because it's seamless and it's easy and it's very product forward. And now all these other digital protocols are plugging into it. It's only a time before we see the acceleration and people value what Polygon's really meant to do.
And to be honest too, I think human verification, the way that ZK or the way how you were describing how it's done, I think it's necessary, not just for security reasons, but like for the user safety as well, right? It's a good filter to keep out bad actors, in my opinion, or at least hold them accountable, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, y'all operate on we don't try to operate on centralized exchanges, but everyone's plugged into Coinbase on this call, like. How many times you get a text message saying your Coinbase has been hacked into call
10 times a day, not even exactly.
Literally, dog. And they call you and then they don't answer. Dude, I've answered those calls. And then it goes like, oh, we're connecting you to someone who's like, y'all called the wrong guy. Like, let me tell you why you should not reach out again, because I know how this works. Like,
Bodie has a field day with him. He'll freaking send him
hell
in
yeah,
circles.
dude. Tell him,
dude, I put him through the ringer, man.
keep on the phone for 45 minutes, dog. Like, at least.
I will. I'll drag him along. I'll make him crash out. I'll hear things breaking in the background.
Waste their time, brother. Keep them away from people that don't know it like us. That's our goal. We are the protectors on chain, brother. But like but it's funny because like if those had a verification protocol behind them, my information wouldn't be getting hacked from these systems. And that's how these breaches happen. You know, I've been on exchanges, we all have, that have gone under. Right. Like it's and that's when that happens, when they let down their guard and they close up shop, whether it's FTX or Celsius or one of these other groups, right? Voyager is the one I got bit by.
Me too.
Yeah,
Voyager.
Me too.
Dude, it was publicly traded. It's super safe. Yeah, fucking A. Go figure. That's not right. Like, yeah, it felt super safe at the time. But like when these things break down, they put down their guard. They get rid of their security systems. They don't have people monitoring things, and then our data gets lost into the ether, and then we get wrecked on our cell phones every single day. And that's what the solutions are looking to provide, and make sure that we just get that much safer how we operate.
Yeah, that's incredible. Before we touch more on Billions, I also wanted to ask one more thing about Katana, because I saw it floating around, and I just wanted to know the affiliation. What's Turtle Club?
Yeah, Turtle Club is a vault as well. So essentially, like, the way it works, and there's a lot of like different like lending and borrowing protocols. Turtle Club is just one of our like partners for Katana that offers very high yield with the sequencer fees and how they've set up their vaults, right? So you can deposit. There's 1,000 different ways to deposit into Katana at this point. Turtle Club was the second one that we activated. The first one was go buy these like loot boxes directly on the Katana website. There's a cool animation. It's like a gotcha machine, very similar to pulling a slot machine or the courtyard vending machine. And
I love a good slot machine.
Come on, there's a little good slot machine.
I love that. I love those animations.
You can't. Like, let me click buttons, bro.
That's why you get suckered in.
Yeah, exactly, right? But Katana was like, deposit money here and we'll give you cat token. Or deposit money here. We actually gave away like a Milady. We gave away a Punk. We gave away a bunch of cool stuff, right? Whoa. And so it was like, pretty wild, right? So a bunch of cool stuff that went into the vending machine itself. And that was the first avenue, just like interact with the app, like have fun on that side. But then we started migrating and doing like really safe, easy access stuff. And Turtle Club was one of the first ones because it's a very straightforward UI UX. You deposit and you get a benefit for it, and you get that allocation, that yield in cat token, and it keeps generating yield on the back end. So it was just one of our strongest partners that we launched with. We call them our core dApps, and Turtle Club is one of the core dApps that was there.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to know the connection there.
For sure.
But man, I got some work to do after this. But yeah, let's go more into the Billions network and kind of, and just break down what that's all about. I know you said it's like a verification system now. What else do they got in play? Like what are they doing? What do they got cooked up? What can we expect?
For sure. So like definitely the verification is like their biggest aspect, and they have a mobile app that I would encourage everyone to get into and jump in.
I got it.
Yeah, exactly. And they send out codes every day so you can farm rewards, right? So like just keep clicking buttons, ladies and gentlemen, and rewards lead to stuff. So like that's what I'll say on that side. But another thing that they're really building, and this is like hats off to Evan, she's the CEO, and Javi and all the team members over there. They're actually building agentic, so like AI integrations into the platform to verify AI in a way that you can ensure that it's trustful. So like imagine like, how many AI protocols are out there right now, and how many like different ways you can transact are there right now. So if you think of like the safest ones, like Banker, and like what AI16Z is building, and Virtuals, and all these different teams that are like, hey, let's make payments and let's like make trading and DeFi easier. They're working towards verification of those essentially bots, right? Those AI protocols, to ensure that people understand what is safe and where they should be moving their money and how. So it's automating the investment process. It's automating how yield works. It's all like, I mean, y'all know this. I'm in like 5 DeFi protocols. I'm in like 2 staking avenues. I'm lending. I'm doing perps on Hyperliquid. I'm in 40 different places with my money at this point. I've got a spreadsheet as long as, the day is. Like, I don't want to track that. And I promise you that our moms don't want to for sure. Right?
Yeah.
So like,
what's crazy is you guys have been building this whole time. We've been building this whole time to create a tool that tracks everything, all platforms,
there we
all
go.
wallets.
Yeah,
That's coming up.
I love that, brother. Let's go, and we'll talk about it, and we'll yap, and we'll get those connections together.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's good. Pitch your dude. Shill your shit. Pitch yourself. That's the main reason why we out here, baby. But like that's if we make those things more efficient and we make sure that people understand they were safe, and because the Billions platform already has like multi-million users in it all around the world. If you marry those 2 places together, not only are you verifying identification, but you're verifying how people can transact on chain. So that's like the next level of where Billions comes to play, is like that AI aspect, so that people know that they don't have to interact with very shady stuff and lose their money potentially. It's all verified on Billions. So therefore you can feel like more confident when you transact.
Yeah. I mean, you see it right now. Like we see like everything that we interact with. Yeah, there's systems in place that made it a lot more easier than it was in 2021, with all of like just in your face, like for example, like Wallet Guard, right? But I think Wallet Guard got acquired by MetaMask or something, and I don't really see it pop up as much. But still, even then, it's still like kind of like a barrier to entry and not seamless enough for the masses. So this is cool what Billions is doing, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool time, man. The team's really on top of it. And again, it came from our ecosystem. It was Polygon ID, and then it kind of evolved into, hey, this should be its own brand. And then obviously the team ran with it, and now they're doing Kaido campaigns and all this other stuff. They're cracked as all hell. So I'm excited about them.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to farm it. Guys, chat. First of all, hello everyone that's in the chat. Thank you for being here. But farm Billions.
Dude, I'm telling
you.
Like, hey, we can say it.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's dive into Courtyard. Arthur, I know you want to ask the questions here.
I'm about to open a pack on Courtyard.
Dude, do it. It's so much fun, bro.
I'm not even kidding. I'm about to open this Pokemon pack on Courtyard right now.
Yeah, get into it, brother. If you want to open it up, I can talk about like why they are so sick, I guess is a good way to do this.
So
absolutely.
I'm gonna, for the folks that don't know, I do alternate investing in packs of Pokemon. So I am on Courtyard right now, which is a super awesome app, not shilling, but I guess also shilling. So you guys can go on here and rip packs of like rare cards, of like starter packs, of like master packs, and there's graded cards in there. There's graded sports cards, graded Pokemon cards, all over. So I'm gonna rip some Pokemon packs because you guys know me. I spend too much money on Pokemon, so I'm gonna rip some packs and try to get some graded cards.
Oh yeah, there's 2 ways this goes. It's either a really sick time or it's okay because now we click some buttons and we got the euphoria regardless, right? Like that's.
So
we're gonna go for option 1.
Yeah, dude.
I guess Nill, kind of just tell us how the process works of ripping packs online and how you become in possession of them. Where's the security factor in that? How did Courtyard come about? All of it.
Absolutely. So I've been with Courtyard as their like ecosystem success lead, right? So like their main support arm over at Polygon for over a year at this point, right? It was my first project that I jumped into as far as supporting. A month when I started off, they were doing like right around $1 million of transactions per month. Right. And they've accelerated that aggressively till this month, which they're doing around $60 million of transactions per month. So
wow.
Massive numbers. Yeah, they do around like 1.8 to like 2.4 million dollars per day, which is crazy. It's a vending machine that you click some buttons on it, and it's super simple. I
think I was reading somewhere that
there's a pack for 2,500.
The trading card market in total does.
Rip responsibly, brother.
I think I was reading somewhere that the trading card market does about like 340 million a month total, every single month.
Yeah. And then Courtyard's only accelerating that, right? So so the long short of Courtyard, right, is when you give people an experience, and obviously like this is much more geared to the younger generation, but you'll see it continues to grow in the older generation too. It's the same reason why people want to socially interact online more now than ever, right? Like when we were growing up, how did all, like, besides like playing sports and like interacting with people at school, we hopped on Xbox, we got on Halo, and we were just yapping on Xbox Live, right? And you take that application and you apply that to what the digital world looks like. And do I get like absolutely juiced? Like I don't actually have any packs closed here. I only have I have some V friends closed here actually, but nothing else that nothing else. Yeah, nothing else. Pokemon related. I can't keep things closed very long. But you want that experience in a digital world because it's more accessible on top of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a little bit more like accessibility, and obviously you can have a valuation behind it. So how the process works is Courtyard acquires cards. And they're currently the #1 purchaser of cards in the world. Fun fact. That's a crazy
No
thing.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an impressive stat.
It's insane. They have like people around the world just buying and selling cards for them every single day. And
heck.
yeah, I didn't feel comfortable saying that, but then I heard their founder say it in public, and I was like, okay, I can say it now too.
I just bought 5 packs, so GG's to me. Let's see what happens.
I'm anxious over here. I'm sweating in a good way.
Dude, won't you screen share it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, just have fun on your side. And then tell us when you get some heat. But like so how the process works is they're buying bulk cards, right? All graded from any kind of grading company, CGC, PSA, Beckett, all these different teams, right? And then what they're doing is vaulting it in their own like high security and obviously like an environmentally like cooled vault. So it's all staying very on top of things. They used to actually work with Brinks, and that's like their main vaulting security aspect was like a big vault that they had there. And then their volume got so high and their transactions. Oh, what we do there, Arthur? Give me,
dude. I'll take it. I got 2 PSA 8s from 1999.
Oh!
I just got 1 PSA 6. But
I want to see.
Edition
I want to
from 99. But then I got a first edition PSA 10 from 2012. That's worth $88.
Let's go.
I'm good,
dude. You're cooking. What
do you want to see, dude?
Were you on $50 bets or
PSA 7 from 99, dude, and a Dragonair PSA 8 from 99.
Love it, dude. Exactly. Give me anything OG, and I get juiced up. I don't even care if I spend more money on it than it's worth. Yeah, it's super fun. So what they do is they deposit into their vaults. Right? They digitize the cards. They do a 3D rendering of the card itself, and then they assign it a smart contract address. So it's an NFT more or less, right? And so and then that NFT, that smart contract, gets deposited into the vending machine, and then online you transact with USDC, with a credit card, or with Apple Pay. So you can do a bunch of different options, and obviously, if it's again, 85% of their volume comes from Web 2. So it's 85% transactions. Like it all still transacts on the blockchain. It all still transacts with USDC, but the payment rails come from Web 2 users more than anything. Okay. Right. So
when I pay with Apple Pay, it's gonna convert into USDC. Correct.
Yes.
And then
yes,
I'm Apple Paying right now and getting my credit card points.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it's and then so and make sure you connect they just opened up a mobile app 3 weeks ago. So like it's crazy because they've been doing all this volume. It's over $440 million of volume in the last 8 months, and they've only opened up the mobile app 3 weeks ago. So like so tell me what happens when they open up more accessibility, right?
It's gonna be like Whatnot. But way cooler.
So
because Whatnot sucks.
It's definitely a little clunkier than it needs to be. We'll say that, right? Shout out to the people at Whatnot. I'm trying to work with those guys. But what I'll say, I need you on USDC on Polygon.
What Arthur meant is that Nill is the perfect component for Whatnot success. That's all that Arthur was saying. That's
something
what he meant to say.
Is missing with Whatnot, and it's this.
There we go. Exactly. Let's make it easier. Let's make it easier on them.
Whatnot, integrate Polygon with Nill into Whatnot. That's what you need to do.
It's perfect.
All right.
It's inevitable at that point. So what happens is obviously the mint happens. It goes into your wallet, and the wallet can be a Gmail. It can be a traditional. It's all backed by Privy, right? So obviously like wallet secure and kind of custodial on that side. Or you can connect, Phantom, MetaMask, Grabby, all the traditional wallets that we typically use. So there's both the Web 2 and Web 3 component that are plugged in there. So there's obviously, after you have a card in your wallet, you have a few different things. They automatically offer you 90% value on the card itself. So 90% buyback, when the traditional buyback of these cards, as Arthur probably knows, is right around 75 to 80%. So they're already offering you a higher percent on the buyback itself. They offer 0% marketplace fees. So as eBay is known as FeeBay for a lot of people that are out there that transacted with cards, they offer 0% marketplace fees because all they know is they want you to live in their platform. So they don't need a cut of the marketplace fees. They're making their revenue off the initial transaction and the buybacks itself. So that marketplace fees eliminated because they don't need to worry about shipping and handling and moving and doing all these things that eBay worries about, right? It's very heavy.
Yeah.
The friction is very heavy for listing something on eBay and then doing all that work on the back end. The third option that you have is reclaiming the card. So if you claim the card, you pay shipping and handling. It ships directly to your place and it gets you in 2 business days maximum. So if you buy a card on Monday and you reclaim it for shipping, it'll be in your doorstep by Wednesday, guaranteed. Unless there's like a hurricane or like, all those kind of stuff. But like, that's the evolution of it, right? Of why they've become that much more efficient. Like I said, they were working with Brinks. That process wasn't fast enough for them because the volume they were doing. So what they do, they build their own vault and they build it in Delaware. They have somebody that's security. They have security hired, managing all the vault processes on their side. They've already 3x the size. They bought out the 3 other units next to them because of how fast they're buying up cards, right? The second part, so obviously there is the buyback. Yeah,
I got some rare cards I might need to sell.
Dude, and you can vault them directly with them for 0% fees also. So if you've got a stack of cards, dog, I would highly suggest reaching out for vaulting services because having a bunch of cards in your possession is a big liability. I feel much more secure about them being on the blockchain and in my wallet, so I know that they're not going to go anywhere, right? So like and they'll do it for free. Like you can vault it in their place. And then all they want is users on their platform because that encourages use of their platform. They understand this very well, right? So obviously,
bro, I'm cooking right now. 1999 Fossil First Edition PSA 9 Haunter.
Let's go,
That's
dude.
money, bro. I'm profitable right now.
Hey,
I'm pitching like crazy.
I hate when things go well. I said there's 2 ways that this goes, and then now we're going to the first option.
Going really well right now. Fossil First Edition 1999 PSA 9, guys. That's fire.
That's actually wild that you pulled that here. That's fire. So obviously there's buybacks, secondary market, claiming it, and then transferring it between different people, right? You can do OTC deals. You can like connect with people and really just kind of move your assets as you want for ownership. They then brought on, this is about 3 months ago, they also brought on comic books. So CGC did a direct partnership with them. CGC is the largest comic book creator in the world. So obviously like first edition Spider-Man, Superman's, all that kind of stuff. And now they have the vending machine for comic books, which are very easy and accessible as well. The lowest level comic book, I believe, is $250. So, but comic book collectors are a little bit more, they understand there's higher expenses with these things. That's why like the entry level of product of Pokemon at a $25 level, $50, $100, $250, and then $2,500 is big. But it's funny because like they were like, do we release this $2,500 pack? And I'm like, freaking ship it, boys. Like, what do you don't even think.
I'm like this close to pulling the trigger because what? So you already said about the buybacks. That is awesome that I could sell it directly back on the platform immediately.
Yep.
But what I'm noticing, because I check the percentages so much, and this is what sellers on Whatnot do a bad job of, not Whatnot, but the sellers don't give you enough percentage to win those valuable cards.
Yeah.
And I like how on the packs it literally says, all right, like let me open up this pack that is $1,200. Not open it, but just bring up the stats for it. So this pack is $2,500. You have a 51% chance of getting a card valued at $1,300 to $1,900. Okay. But then you have a 20% chance to get a card valued at $1,900 to $2,500, and then a 23% chance, so 3% higher actually, to get a card valued from 2,500 to 5,000. So you basically have a 1 in 4 chance to be profitable. That's unheard of in the industry. And then you get a 5.5% chance to get a card valued at 5,000 to 10,000, and then a 1% chance to go basically to the moon.
Yeah,
It's
Wow.
really impressive stats.
it's just crazy because like it's gamified in a way, but it's also very rewarding because Arthur, like people like you and I that are like into cards, we know that like, yeah, we can lose a little bit money on this certain card for a little bit, but like then I'll just hold it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, then I'll
Sounds
just
like
hold.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, for me, like my Pokemon cards are very similar to an asset that I'm gonna hold on for 10, 20 years. My kid will inherit a few of them, and then I'll decide what to do with it at the end of the rainbow a little bit, right? So like that is like where they're doing really well is being, and this is why the blockchain makes so much sense for them, and the Web2 people would never know. You know, they would, there's a few illusions. If you like scroll over USDC and hover your cursor, it'll say this is a currency, crypto, blockchain, that kind of thing. But the Web2 users don't need to know. We hide the wires. So that's why so much volume is coming from it. And they went very heavy in traditional advertising, right? They went heavy into Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and that's the majority of their marketing spend. They do not do the Web3 avenue as much. I'm encouraging them to do that more because of culture and crypto whales. If you look at the leaderboard also there, Arthur, there's like, you know, you can gain like essentially like points, right? Rewards points, and you can like add up your points and yada yada. They'll allude to what those lead to, like speculate, yada yada. Don't think it's a coin, like because they're so Web2 focused. A coin would make sense for them. I'll say that on that side, right? But there's a rewards aspect to this. The number one person on the rewards board, he's got a BAYC PFP. You know what I mean? So like they understand.
It's D's, isn't it?
I don't think it's D's. I think it's somebody
Hang
else.
Films.
Yeah.
How I found out about Courtyard is through D's, and it was a while ago. I just never like really like dove into it, and you know, and I come surprised that
I'm
Polygon's
looking at
behind the
his
whole show.
history.
Well,
He pulled a 99 first edition Zard. Sick.
Yeah, it's crazy work, dog. And so that's what they see in the value of, like, obviously the cultural aspect, and the crypto whales value is something that I'm really encouraging to tap into more. And they just brought on a new really bullish partnership lead who's like ex Tezos, ex Instagram, ex Rarible, and so they'll be leaning way more into the Web3 side very shortly. But when it comes down to it, like they're doing so much volume from the Web2 end, it's just been so much more advantageous to attack the traditional marketing avenues, right? And
yeah,
now you see it, right? And Arthur, you'll know these things, like GameStop PSA just did power packs, and Arena Club is doing a bunch of things. Box.gg, like all these other digital e-pack simulators are becoming very popular. And I'll say, like, hats off to PSA for doing stuff, and I love that team also. I think they're very clean. They've been working really hard. But every single article that was written about the PSA power packs said, Courtyard's been leading the way in this industry. Courtyard's been doing this by the trends that Courtyard has sent. And I was with that team at the National, right? The biggest card collecting conference in the world, about 3 weeks ago. And it was the day after they announced power packs. And I asked the team, I was like, so how are we feeling about like power packs? Like, what do you guys, what's the vibe? And they said, let them chase. Like they said, thank you for motivating us further, PSA, because now we're that much more further. And they're like, one of the team guys that's on that Instagram team, he was like, Instagram went from 500 million users to 1 billion users when Snapchat launched, and then went from 1 billion users to 5 billion users when TikTok launched. And so whenever you're hungry, whenever you got people chasing you, typically you kick it into high gear. So let them chase and let Courtyard cook.
You know, I reckon that there needs to be a different grading system out there now, because now all I can think of there being a conflict of interest if PSA is trying to put out a similar product and they're like the main hub for card grading. You know what I'm saying?
And Arthur knows, like, there is a big, like, I would say transparency issue, right? Between like how different teams grade, like, for it, like, and you can go on different, I'm trying to see what I have in front of me. Like, I guess these are both CGCs, but like, this is Pudgy Penguin, so it really doesn't apply, right? Yeah. So a little Hooper from Chicago, they did like a Jordan collab, which I think is pretty sick, obviously. But essentially all these teams, and depending on who, like what the people, the users, like the consumer is like evaluating the market, all the cards at a 10, they get evaluated differently. right? But all these companies have also found their focus in certain things, right? So like CGC, like I said, is very comic book focused, so they've cornered that side of the market. PSA is very card focused, they've cornered that side of the market. Beckett is like OGs, right? So they're like very much on their end, and like, but then like sports memorabilia is a thing, like Jordan shoes and LeBron jerseys. Like there's all these different variables that come to it. So my pitch to these teams, and we're actively having conversations, is like, what if you brought transparency to your process? What do you think that would do to how the market operates, right? Like, how much more trust could you build with your users if you allow them to understand the process? And they're like, oh, damn.
You're
like,
taking so many words out of my mouth that I want to ask. You know, like one of the big issues with all these slap packs is the stats. They don't portray the stats accurately. One thing that was going on really bad on this platform was that there was sellers on there, and they were selling Omega mystery boxes and something else mystery boxes, but it was basically like 25 slabs in a box, and they would auction every one rip is a slab for 25 bucks.
yeah.
But people are chasing the cards that are on the cover, like the 2003 2003 Lugia, the 99 Zard, like the rare cards that have literally a 0.001% chance to hit, and people are paying 25, 25, 25, and the next thing you know, they're out, you know, $200-300, and that's a lot of money. And they've really only gained graded cards that are not even worth the plastic that they're in.
Yeah, that's the issue.
It's a really shame. Like, so it would be nice to have some transparency and to have some realistic statistical numbers, and that's what I'm seeing so far right now on Courtyard. So that's really cool. And just like you were saying, there needs to be some kind of process to where these mystery packs, which is a big thing for, you know, people in the selling industry, for the collecting game, you know, it's a huge strategy as well to, you know, you do like these kind of shows on these streaming platforms where you put rare cards and people have to draw them out and stuff. So when you give people real odds, you know, that's what the people should be playing. And it's for like the people that go to blackjack and gamble at the casinos. That's like when you go to those continuous shuffle machines, or when the blackjack pays you 6-5 odds, like run.
Yeah.
Or like if there's 3 greens on the freaking table on the spin, run. Those odds are not in your favor. So it's cool to see odds come back into the retail person who's not going to just spam buy these and then at the end of the day be like, what the heck did I just do?
Right. And that's the issue that we're seeing, is like there needs to be more transparency, more understanding of how things work. And then like eventually, like this will evolve into a conversation about what real ownership is. Right. And that's and we as crypto individuals understand that. Like we know that like when your money's in a bank, the bank owns it. They're borrowing and lending your money, and they're getting money off of your money, and you're not getting anything out of it. That's why we hold our assets in crypto. That's why we do DeFi. That's why we do everything that we do. But this applies to so much more. It applies to healthcare. It applies to your diploma. It applies to your real world assets that you're investing in, whether they're, you know, stocks or whether they're Pokemon cards, right? Like ownership is the ultimate goal of cryptocurrency and blockchain. And once the people understand that, which is why we're so bullish for like how we're getting more legislation and like regulations are loosening up, and obviously things are happening in that direction, that's where the value add comes. In my estimation, right? Like everyone talks about like what's the cycle, what's the narrative. Right now, it's like the foundational narrative, is my opinion. It's institutions buying in, it's payment processing, it's like stocks coming on chain. That's all great, grand, wonderful. My estimation is the mass adoption narrative is until next time. Because we're not set, the stage isn't set yet. It's just not, you know, and do I want everybody to adopt and like all this stuff? But like, if you see the growth cycle, when we're only at 9% adoption or 7%, whatever the stats kind of fluctuate from worldwide, we ain't ready, fam. Like, you know what I mean? Like we need more time for the stage to get set. We need more regulations in place. We need more payment rail. We need everything. Right. So like, that's why everyone jokes around by saying we're so early. It's because we are. Like we have time to set the stage, and like, yeah, make your money during this cycle, make sure you transfer stable coins, take profits, do all those things. But then like really freaking get educated over what the future holds, because that's the moment where you should be building businesses and like, you know, connecting yourself and becoming a professional in this space. Cause that's how you really gain real value is like, yeah, change your life through money, change your life through all these things, but change your life because you can learn how the Web3 world actually works, which is focus on ownership and focus on the accessibility that provides.
Yeah. And I do think, you know, we probably have, just like you were saying, one run, if not like this is the last run, where that whole WAGMI narrative is unfortunately no longer a thing. It's going to be the companies that are building, and we're seeing this from the market perspective. So something that I like to really look at are the total 2 and total 3 charts, which are the entire crypto market caps excluding Bitcoin. And then the total 3 is the entire crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So just the altcoins. And people are saying, when's alt season? When's alt season? When's alt season? Buddy, we've already had alt season because total is already at all-time highs, new all-time highs. The issue is it's the coins that have died, have not been building, have not been doing stuff, have not been really standout projects. It's just another one of the already 10,000 things of this coin. It's dying away. There's
different shift
so
in narrative,
many projects that will no longer ever reach all-time highs, and people are still waiting. When's the alt cycle? Buddy, it's happened.
Find a narrative and ride it, yo. You know what I mean? Like that's why, like, when I'm on stream and when I'm talking to like people that aren't very fluent in this tech, I'm like, listen, like, alt season, it's narrative season, fam. Like, and what are the narratives that are running super hard? It's going to be payments. It's going to be RWAs. There's going to be an AI narrative. Like, think of the things that actually have like focus for where we need to move as far as making sure this place works. That's why I'm very bullish on interoperability. That's why I give a lot of love to Arbitrum and Optimism and Layer Zero. And these are like technically our competitors, but like not really. Like, we all need to win here if we want the entire ships to rise, the rising tide bullshit, right? Like that's a part of this, right? So like I give love to those teams because I believe those are the ones that are going to win. And I can speculate on those token prices. Arbitrum's cooking right now. You know what I mean? Like, like those places are doing great. So like, it's just a matter of time before we see those kind of things shake out. But like, you know, focus on things that you think are very unique. That's why I'm very focused on Hyperliquid right now. Very focused on abstracts. I think they've got a really cool angle, and you can't bet against Luca Nets. Like, that's the dumbest thing you could probably do out here because he's proven himself time and time again. And really just like, find your lane and run in it, man. And if you get out,
relentless, man. He's the most relentless builder I've ever came across.
Dude, that clip from he was on a stream with OG, and it was like the mop clip. Have you guys seen that one? It's like essentially it's like it's before Pengu got launched. And essentially he's saying like, you know, like, I pray that you bet against me because I have a dark fuel inside of me that you don't understand.
That
like
dark energy. I love it.
Literally, he's like, every single VC that didn't invest in Pudgy Penguins comes back to me now and said, man, this is the biggest fumble we've ever done. So please bet against Pengu. You think your meme token is going to be better? I'm going to mop the floor with you. You think that Pudgy Penguins is going to overtake our floor price? I'm going to mop you. You think Abstract is going to have faith? You don't have faith in Abstract? Great. Let me mop the floor with you. And he just keeps saying mop and mop and mop. And it just juices up the people.
And you know what? A lot of people don't know this either too, but Pudgy Penguins used to be a dead team abandoned project,
literally,
like in the beginning. Like Luca wasn't a part of it initially. Like this, like there was so much turmoil within the team. The team was, you know, screwing each other over. It was falling apart. The price was like damn near zero, and Luca came in and brought it to where it is now.
Yeah, just a visionary.
That IP is gigantic. Like, say what you will, like.
The easiest purchase ever.
It's the most used meme on IG, like the sticker memes and everything. It's the most used meme there. You know, the toys, the activations that they do, you know, and you know what? I just got to bring it up because it's in the same you know, hemisphere and ecosystem. But like, I feel the same way about Cool Cats, not because I own a couple of them, but like I see the potential there and I see what they've gotten exposure to in the past, and I think they're back on the right track again.
Yeah, Animoca
My
just
opinion.
invested in their brand. I saw
Yeah.
that announcement, and that floor price rose a little bit. And again, it's just like about building blocks at this point, like putting together digital Legos and building up this house that you can survive in.
Mhm.
And the Luca model is what that is. Like you can take
Yeah.
something that people relate to. Like we all played Club Penguin. Like, you know what I mean? Like when we were growing up, like we clicked around and had digital chat rooms, and that was the origin of this all. And
Oh my
then
God, Club Penguin, Jesus.
yeah, right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it literally, this is why Pokemon works. It's why Hello Kitty will be alive forever. It's because people have an emotional connection to this thing they used to do previously, right?
That's
And
why I'm
so,
surprised Habbo Hotel isn't that crazy right now.
dude, so that's the funny statement. The community manager of Billions was the originator of the community of Habbo Hotel. There's your there's your connection of all these
Oh
conversations
my
together.
God, dude, Arthur, I don't think you know this about me, but dude, I was addicted to Habbo Hotel as a kid. Absolutely
I
addicted.
remember that. That and
Habbo
RuneScape.
Club. I had
RuneScape. Yep.
old school RuneScape. I still play it sometimes. I've logged in the other day.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, that's why, like, everybody is like, you know, again, the statement of being early, the statement of like, how do we interact as people? Like, we've been doing this, man. Like, we set the stage for this when we were children, and we were skipping freaking lunch or skipping gym and going into the computer lab and logging onto RuneScape and mining ore. Like like literally we've been doing this, you know what I mean? And like we've been on like Club Penguin and like, you know, saying cuss words and getting blocked and all this stuff, right? Like we've done this forever. It's just that now there's this tech that allows you to own stuff, and we're old enough where we can understand that that's valuable. And that's why, like, you know, we're going to have so much value by being early to this, and why our kids will benefit from it, and why it's just going to take us into a whole new stratosphere for what this really looks like as a space. So it's super bullish, man. And this is exactly where we're going to head.
Since we're reminiscing, you know, I kind of want to touch on crypto gaming a little bit with Polygon. I know we covered RWAs already. You know, I think you explained that pretty well already. But let's talk about crypto gaming, man. I mean, you're looking at a Zedrun fanatic. If you remember Zedrun,
hell yeah,
I'm a Sandbox landowner.
There we go.
Right? Okay.
Polygon Maxi, Fody. What do you mean? You've been a Maxi.
In hindsight, yeah, I kind of have been. But yeah, man, I mean, I know Sandbox is you know, still putting out stuff every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure at this point it's gotten kind of a little bit confusing for me with Sandbox, but they, you know, they're still at it.
Yeah.
They're still posting, you know, new stuff every day. They have crazy partnerships all the time. Where's your head at with that?
Yeah, man, gaming is going to be a part of our ecosystem because we ate so much of a market share originally, right? And I'll give love to our head of gaming, Sergio, who's currently at Gamescom right now, right? Like they're in the trenches, they're cooking, they're hosting events, they're bringing on new games. And we have a lot of ecosystems that I'm super bullish on from the gaming perspective. And yes, does it include Sandbox? Yes, does it include Sunflower Land? Yes, does it include all these groups? 100%, right? But those are like built on Polygon already. The way that we see gaming evolving is if you want to build something so big that you consider it like, you know, the GTA of blockchain, then you probably need your own chain to do it, right? Like you want an ecosystem where everyone transacts and the flow works well and all those things. So I would highly encourage you all to look into like two specific ecosystems. I'll touch on a few, but the two specific ones that I think are really, really bullish are things like Wilder World. Right. So Wilder World is essentially building, like I said, the GTA of the metaverse. It's going to be a map. Yeah, it's a map that is 7 times bigger. I think it's 8 times bigger than any GTA map has ever been built. It has first person, third person aspect of like a first person shooter, but also like a third person kind of adventure game. Essentially, it's a futuristic cyberpunk like universe. Right now, the bullish thing about Wilder World is they're building Z Chain. Z-Chain is a transactor for everything that happens on Wilder World, from the experience that you gain to the interactions that you have to the items that you buy in this world. And if you guys look at Wild Token, they just announced buybacks for it, and it's totally cooking right now. So GG's to the Wilder World team. Get early and stuff like that. Like
that seems to be the new meta with tokens right now is the buyback program.
Yeah, I mean, like if you trust in your build, yeah, I'll take my token back. Like, you know what I mean? I'll take my token back and I'll buy it off of you. That's fine. I'll give you some cash for it and let my people that believe me cook long term. And Wild is cooking right now. But Wilder World so they had a couple different like game demos that went live. They took reviews. They really dove into it. It's on the Epic Game Store. It needed a lot of upgrades and work because it's a big old heavy game. And they just announced like a first person shooter like tournament that's having a Gamescom right now. They're doing like 100K in Wild token as the reward, right? So they're currently doing a lot of cool stuff on their end. Highly suggest you ought to look at like the at the demos they've released and all that stuff. And Wilder World is super bullish. I can't name like, and actually like the next gaming team I'll name is probably just as bullish, but that team is cracked. Frank and Neo and Zen Wilder, like they essentially have like this entire ecosystem that they called Wyami, which is like Wild Miami. It's like this like, you know, ecosystem of like just people released into it, and then you do what you got to do to survive energy, right? But they have like partnerships with Lamborghini, so there'll be Lambos in the Wilder World universe. Like they're integrating all these unique IPs into the universe itself and allowing it to grow and allowing their people to work within it. So like people are going to treat this as they did with GTA servers. Like they are going to try to make livings off of this. And I believe that a lot of people have success because I believe it's going to be a massive ecosystem that takes the gaming ecosystem by storm. The other one I'll mention, and you can talk about Wild World too, is Moonvale. Moonvale is much more in the passive, or not the passive, but how do you say like the turn-based games, right? So it's much more like mini games, point and click stuff, like much more on like the side of like
Kingdoms type deal, like that kind of.
So like much more in the like the APAC mobile gaming goals, right? So while Wilder World's this massive ecosystem in the metaverse, they're shrinking things down and saying, hey, like mini games are also, I mean, I think it's like 45% of gaming is actually like mobile based mini games, where it's like single clicks and you get to make decisions and then like things happen and you respond to how things are happening, right?
Like a Clash of Clans type deal.
Exactly. Moonvale, also super bullish. MJ, their founder, is one of the smartest people that is out here in the Web3 world. They're building very uniquely. They have their own Moonvale chain, right? Because Moonvale is going to have like 5, 6, 7 different games within Moonvale. While the world is big and expansive, Moonvale is a lot of stuff, different things happening with different types of IP, right? So like it shows a good spectrum of what you can build with an ecosystem. It's the chain makes sense because there's going to be so much stuff happening there, but the way that you build is very unique to each one of these projects, right? So I always point people towards Moonvale. I always point people towards Wilder World as like our first 2 examples. And there's also a strategy game that I really like called Medieval Empires. They're cross-chain with Polygon and Immutable. And Luke, he's a pretty predominant Spaces host too. Luke is their partnerships and BD lead, but Medieval Empires is Age of Empires Unchained. That's the easiest way to say it. It's fun. Yeah, I know, right? I'm cooking right now.
You're bringing up memories, dude, because me and my friends used to have Age of Empire LAN parties.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and so bring that into the blockchain universe, get all your XP on chain. MEE is their token, which is doing really well right now because they've built super hard and they're really consistently making moves, and they're doing streams. They're doing like builder parties, like very unique for a gaming ecosystem. So those 3 are the ones that I'll like refer to. There's like 20 other ones that we can go into, but we'd be here for 45 hours. So like those 3 are the ones that I always highlight because they really exemplify what Polygon gaming can specifically be when you provide like nostalgia. Like it's the same thing that we experience, but it has the use case of the blockchain being applied in an easy way. So it really makes sense from that perspective.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I was getting goosebumps the whole time you're describing them. I have so much homework to do after this and dive into all these little different things.
It's cool.
You know, Nill, we're coming near to the end, near to the pod or near to the show. But you know, I kind of just wanted to ask you one more question before we end it. You know, and if you can't tell us anything, no worries. But
where's Polygon price going? I'm just kidding.
Somebody's got to make the joke. I wish I could speculate with you all, but I stay on. But go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
What's coming in the future?
Yeah, man.
What's some stuff that's coming that maybe you guys announced already, or you haven't announced and you can talk about it or can't talk about it? What's coming?
Yeah, so I am I'll talk on my own work streams more than anything. I think that, like, we've spoken on Courtyard a ton. Something that we haven't mentioned is that Fanatics Tops is currently migrating all of their digital assets from AVAX to Polygon as we currently speak. So like,
Wow.
yeah, so Fanatics,
That's a big
yeah, it's a big
customer.
one. It's the #1 card producer in the world, right? So like Fanatics Tops plus Courtyard, we've got something cooking pretty hard on that
Shout
side.
out Mark
Still,
Rubin.
yeah, shout her out, right? Get after it, Marky. But like, I am aggressively tackling what consumer RWAs look like on chain currently, right? And if you go down that rabbit hole, you see a $3 trillion industry that continues to expand over time, and it's estimated to get to like 6 or 7 trillion by 2032 or something like that. So it could double in the next 10 years, right?
Mhm.
And so the expansive nature of consumer real world assets is something I'm extremely bullish on, and what it means for an aging industry that needs to evolve. And we're already seeing that industry see the signs, right? I've been a card collector for a little bit, but last year I went to the National. I'm in Cleveland here, so I was here in Cleveland, and it was at like this this childhood place that it was an indoor amusement park actually, which is really wild. And now it's like a showroom for a big store and all this kind of stuff. When I had conversations about blockchain a year ago with all these individuals, they were like laughing me out the building. They were like, why would we talk to you? Like, we don't need that crypto stuff. It doesn't make sense. When I went to the National 4 weeks ago, people were like, ooh, we need to talk to you. Like, you know what I mean?
That's him.
Like that. Well, they just see the writing on the wall at this point, right? They
Yeah.
see the market share that these EPAC simulators are taking, and they see the digital transactions and the efficiency that stablecoin transactions really mean, and they understand that they are, it's like old network processors that were like, at one point we were operating on paper and everything digitized. And then everything evolved forward. And this is the next evolution of that in a very physical market that needs to jump forward from paper transactions with dollars and cents into way more easy access of what funds can look like. So what I will say is I am going to aggressively tackle the RWA space. We already have #2 market share of RWAs. And it is my duty, my goal, my aspiration to ensure that we continue to take that mind share and make sure that we grow effectively in consumer-based RWAs. I believe that mass adoption comes through consumer RWAs more than anything. And I get laughed off of stages on CT when I say this, because everyone's thinking, oh, the meme coins are going to adopt people.
Yeah.
And, it's going to, I promise you, like, pump funds going to, onboard the masses. Listen, MFer.
Pepe is going to bring financial freedom.
Dude, and I hope
And
so,
clean
dog.
water.
Pump my Pepe bags. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really hope so. But like, at the end of the day, when you bring somebody into an ecosystem for the first time, and this is like my soapbox that I always stand on, everyone laughs me off it a little bit. When you bring on like people into an ecosystem the first time, the very first thing that happens is they get wrecked and they have nothing to show for it. There's a pretty high chance they're not going to come back to that thing.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, right, they're getting burned 0%, nothingness. It just doesn't make sense. Right. So if you bring somebody into a consumer RWA platform like Courtyard, and the very first thing, and Arthur, you just experienced it live, the very first thing that happens is you rip it open a pack. And even if you cook or you lose like 15, 20, 30% of your value, you still got the asset, right? You still got this car that you can reclaim, bring home, and you're all right. Right? Like, that's good. And that is at least giving people value to an experience in a digital world where they're not going to walk away and say, damn, that crypto stuff, man, I probably won't touch that again. They'll at least say, I may have not made money on that first rip, but what about the second rip? You know what I mean? And then we start the conversation. What we got, baby?
I feel like the best way to end this live is to do a rip.
Wait, before you do that, and I just been looking at it this whole time, dude. Is that a Deadfellows Betty behind you?
It is a
Like
Betty
a-
behind me. Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, that's Betty. Betty's always
Are you
watching me over
nice?
my shoulder.
Damn.
She's looking out for me, dog.
We got a fellow horde over here, man.
Yeah. Hail to the queen,
Arthur,
brother.
Arthur, it's a sign, dude.
I
For
gotta
some
get a
reason,
dead fella.
Arthur-
I keep
I need to
talking
buy
about it.
dead fellas. I need to buy dead fellas.
Now's the
Has a
time.
bottom. I
They're
saw my-
affordable. I'll say they're
Yeah,
affordable.
they
And
are.
I do believe in Betty, and I like the team, and like, it's just a good, it's one of those
I do.
OG pieces that will never fade away. It's a part of blockchain history, right?
Call me crazy, but I think Deadfellows will be here, will be around here for a while. I think they're going to cement themselves in NFT history for a long, long time.
I love it,
personally.
dude. Good, great call out. I'll say it. Yeah, I got D's. I have his Burn Boy back there too. So the marshmallow.
Oh,
is
yeah,
from
I see that.
Goons. Yeah, and
Okay.
then I got what else is up there? I got a Pudgy. And then I also have a Katara World, the cute cats over there. So we got all the
Okay.
homies hanging out behind us in the NFT world.
At first, from a distance, it looked like a sup duck, and I was like, is
That'd
that
be crazier. That'd be crazier, dude. Sup ducks ran really hard for like a hot second when they got acquired, and then like
and they look really good.
Interesting art style. Unfortunate they didn't. Dude, that is wild that you.
By the way, did you see what you guys weren't there, but this is what I pulled. By the way,
what card? What pack did you pull that from?
From the $500 pack, which
Hell
I'll
yeah.
open online for you guys as well.
Are you serious?
Let's get to opening. Let's see
man.
what we get here, boys and girls. What a good way to end the live.
Dude,
I think this one's a little bit too rich for my blood right now, but I'm gonna go with the
dude.
pack.
What?
I can't believe you just cooked on 2,500. You're great. Arthur's crazy.
This pack is $500 for one pack, a 6-card pack.
One card.
But I just got a $500 card from it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
got
one
a
card.
first edition Gengar. Yeah, one card.
Oh, damn. All right.
That's crazy. I can't believe he's cooking
No,
so hard. I love it.
Don't leak your credit card.
I'm not, dude. I'm not, dude.
It's Apple Pay. He's gone through the process. He knows.
I've been around the block.
Oh man.
Oh, it's leaked out. Dude.
Oh, that's my Addy, huh?
Dude, why am I putting my hand over? Why am I putting the
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah. Kill the stream, buy it, and then open it up for the rip.
Right.
Yeah, kill the shit. That's crazy work.
Oops.
Why am I putting my hand over the screen like it's gonna cover it or something?
Oh.
Right. All right. Stream is going back in 3, 2. All right. We're good.
Wow.
Transaction processed.
There we go. That's hilarious. Docs and Addy is on live. It has to happen though. Send nice things, guys.
Now I gotta edit it.
That's hilarious.
Let's see what we get.
I know the anxiety of what
no matter what happens, I approve of Courtyard. It's been great so far.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, what do we got? What an animation.
I know. Right? Out of the pack.
Oh, this is nice. Oh,
should we do it?
Let's get it.
Gonna make
go. All right, it's a good way to end the stream.
It's gonna
Let us cook. Let us cook with something.
Oh, come on.
Give us some pack magic. I don't know what that is. It was
a lot of force. Trainer card, I think.
Oh man.
Okay.
I've
never seen this card before. Honestly,
you could sell for 232. That's not bad. I don't even know what that is.
Great art though. I think it's a trainer card.
I almost did it again.
No way. Get out of here. It's quick cooking.
We'll do one more for the stream because I'm feeling last pack mojo.
Jesus
Christ.
A quick couple K on the stream. You know what's a quick couple K?
Dude, I've already dropped $3,000 on the stream so far.
Oh my God. I did not encourage anybody to spend money on the stream.
No, you did not. I'm just an avid Pokemon collector. What can I say?
Would have done this with packs regardless.
I would have. This is why I told Photo. I'm like, oh, dude, there's a $2,500 pack. You guys gotta pull me away after a while.
Oh my God, I love it, dude. It's so much fun, man.
All right, it's processing. Last one for the stream. Give me some GGs in the chat.
No, we need the good.
Come on, pull something crazy. Pull something crazy.
Manifest the shit.
Yeah. But it's dude, cool. I've been getting crazy cards all day, so maybe I used up all my luck, but we'll see.
And it's cool too, like with the mobile app now, like I was ripping packs at a Guardians game with the homies. You know what I mean? Like I was, we were there, and it was like at the 7th inning stretch, and I was like, boys, here we go. And I pulled a chrome, what's it called? A Topps chrome, like the wax card, Arthur, of a Gyarados. It was a PSA 9. I was like, boys, cooked.
Crazy.
Damn. Of course, we're having issues. Of course,
I don't want to hit the refresh. I don't know if that'll screw it up.
I don't know. You're right.
I got to see the animation. Oh,
I know. I don't want to get rid of the animation because I actually bought that Gengar pack and I was gonna open it on the live, and then when I clicked back, because if you don't hit reveal, it opens it by itself. So it would have been so cool to pull that Gengar on stream because that's the one that I had ready for it. Oh man, yeah, I don't know.
You might need to go to your what's it called? Your collection would be on the right side underneath. Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, I think because it went away.
Did it go
I
through?
won't
The
be
transaction
able-
went through, right?
Yeah, it did.
So check on underneath your profile. Yeah.
All right. Of course, I'm lagging now, huh?
Yeah, go figure that. Right. It always happens, right, when you're trying to do cool shit.
Your name is Steampunk Victory?
Yep. I think it was this. Yeah, it just did a random name.
There we go. Trestle Festival. That's fun.
What is this valued at?
I don't know. It should give you a no, that can't be the one.
No.
Wait, it's a Flareon.
That can't be it because it wouldn't give me that card.
No, it wouldn't have been a higher valued one on that one. Check on.
It's probably this.
There it is. That just
Dude, I'm
popped
pulling
up.
Gengars and Haunters left and right.
Dude, we love a good Gengar, bro. Gen Mint 10.
Gem Mint. I'll take that. $400 card.
Whoa!
There we go.
But I will say, I'm sorry, but I just got to tell the audience, I will say you guys undervalued the Gengar because I just checked the eBay sales. They were selling for like $100 more.
It's kind of funny how you can almost gamify it. Like, and that's the thing. Like, there was actually a thread that one of my boys, X Factor, put out. He's a big Polygon proponent at this point with all the things that we're working on. He was like, yo guys, like, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but like go on Courtyard and kind of search like on TCG Trader, like what these things are selling for on eBay, and like make a little comparison here. Cause sometimes you can find, like, you could recall this to your house. It'll be here by Tuesday. Right. Yeah. And then you could post it on eBay and there you go. You just came up $400 off of the pack rip. So like,
look, somebody already offered me $397.80.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so people are fishing this thing. Like that's what it is. And you could possibly get an undervalued card or an overvalued card and then repost it somewhere else and make your money that way. So like there's a lot of avenues to play this, obviously, but it's a fun time. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Arthur. That's huge that you what a lucky guy that we're card guys. You know what I mean? What a lucky stream for us.
I wish you saw the Gengar, dude. Like when I pull this, I'm like, oh, I wish the stream could have seen that. But man, I got this Gengar, and then this Haunter, which is a first edition and a fossil.
Hell yeah, brother.
Which is lit. So I'm happy. I got this first edition too.
Buzz.
This was a Jesus, PSA 10. So I'm chilling. I think the like 2 cards I lost money on was this one, and then maybe I think this one. But all the others, I know I can get for profit.
Hot hand, baby. Crazy. That's sick, dude. Congrats, man. I'm glad you're liking it, dude. And that's what it's all about. Like, it's just super accessible. It's clean. And again, the mobile app is just like, it's so easy because now all of my cards are just one click away. I load in, I'm on Courtyard, and bada bing, bada boom. Like, I can do it mobily and have fun with it too. And it's good stuff. So I'll give my what's it called? My props to the team here. I'll send you that we had a fun time on stream doing it and all that kind of stuff. And it's definitely a cool way to just continue to integrate with the technology. So, but no, I know we're in a wrap. I just appreciate you all the time. This was super fun, man.
Dude, no, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah,
this is great.
And this is cool. This is why, like, I'm just saying, like, it like, Photo, you and I connected on freaking TikTok. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, you can just like this is the world we live in, right? Like, yo, I see your energy, you see my energy, like, we match candor on that way. And then it's like, yeah, like, let's definitely hop on and do a bigger conversation about it. And this was honestly a ton of fun, man. Like, an hour and a half went by in a freaking blink of an eye. And I'm down to hop on and, a couple months in the future, once we got some really cool developments coming, and we can keep yapping about stuff.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Dude, when I saw the Azuki Bean, I was like, this is my guy right here.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the sweater with the Pokemon font, I knew it was meant to be.
That's so
anyway, I'm going to go be the best trainer that ever was on Courtyard and catch them all. Nill, thank you so much for coming. Fody, thank you so much for putting this together. Audience, thank you guys so much for coming. It's been a really awesome show, and we can't wait to do more of these.
Yeah, seriously. All right, guys, thank you so much.
All right,
don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube and follow us on X.
Peace, everybody. Take care. Bye.
See you.